Hi, I'm Susan Purdy. I'm an artist. We're at Gippsland Art Gallery Sale, and this is 360 technology, so you can move around in the space as you want. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my work, which I made in 2009 after the Black Saturday bushfires. I worked at the uni, and it turned out that the arsonist who lit the fire worked in the department beside me. So there was a really personal kind of aspect to the fire. I also had the fire coming to my place, and I had to pack my bags and get ready to go, and a wind change meant that we escaped getting burnt, but it was nonetheless a pretty terrifying time. So to try and make sense of all that intensity, I created a work that is a cosmology, or it's really about a bigger time frame than the couple of years that we've lived through with the fire. And so the story starts with the hand of creation, whatever that is, throwing casuarina seeds, which are an Australian native plant that needs fire to germinate. So there's a sort of sense that fire is an important part, carbon, oxygen in creation. And so there's little Australia floating in space, and Captain Cook sailing towards Australia, and then all manner of astral activities, including the rainbow serpent. This work is made, they're photograms, and so the actual objects have laid onto the photographic paper. There's no camera. It's a very simple, basic, primitive form of photography. So Captain Cook sails into Discovery Bay, and suddenly there's all manner of chaos is released when two systems that are completely different to each other collide. And my metaphor here was the garden and the sort of sense of hybrid plants and all sorts of crazy mixtures happening, and what happens in that space where two systems collide is that it throws up all sorts of aberrations and stresses. And here is the arsonist who, while being personally responsible for the fire, is also a product of the environment that he's been brought up in. And so the fire starts, and there's this sort of sense of this building of energy and smoke and tension in the environment, and the birds are falling out of the sky, and it's really chaotic. And the fire front is proceeding along and burning out the forests, and the koalas are getting burnt. And it's interesting, in these current fires, the koalas came off really badly again. And we finish up with these wine glasses that a friend, when the wind direction changed, the fire went back towards Coligny, and a friend of mine who had a winery got burnt out, and these are the wine glasses that were melted by the fire. He gave them to me, and when I came to print the last section of this work, I unwrapped the glasses, and the ash from the fire fell out. And I was really moved by the fact that it was the very dust. So, and the dust turns into stars, and we're back to the beginning of the cycle. So thank you very much for having a look at my work. I hope you can see it in the flesh. It's got lots of little details that it's not possible for you to see here, but it's wonderful for me to have the opportunity to show it again after 10 years, and it's a shame that its relevance is to do with the fact that we've had bushfire again. But bushfire is really something that we need to address, and climate change is making that situation a whole lot worse. So it's something we need to think about. Thank you for looking at my work. Okay, and goodbye.